Okay, I'm going to be interviewing my sister. Her name is Jamisha. She is 22 years old, and here we go. First question. Do you think Ronald Reagan was a racist,
I do think Ronald Reagan was a racist,
particularly against black people?
particularly against black people for the fact that we were so new out of slavery that a lot of, especially presidents and more wealthier Caucasian people, their mindsets were still modified to think back in the slavery moments.
Did he bring crack into the neighborhoods, especially the low-income black neighborhoods?
He brought, well, I don't want to say him, but the Republican Party brought crack into the neighborhoods as well as liquor stores and so many other things like that. In my opinion on why they did that was because they knew that the black population would be out stronger and out smarter. Once we had the education that we needed, we would definitely have been surpassed the Caucasian people. Mentally, we're strong-minded people. If we were able to get through slavery the way we were able to get through it with just song and faith, we can get through anything. The reason why our community is so drug-stricken and poverty-stricken now is solely because of Ronald Reagan.
Now, in his early years, he was actually an actor before he became president. Do you think he also acted in office? Because there were like reports that he wasn't even running, the president, role, because he had early signs of dementia. He had later signs of dementia or whatever, and when the public found out that he had early signs of Alzheimer's or whatever, they thought, well, he probably had it earlier in his term. So did he? Do you think he had signs? Did you think he had Alzheimer's?
Well, studies show that you can have dementia. And as soon as you get it, it may not be as strong. It may be a very, very slight case. But I do feel as though all presidents are puppets, and they're just hearing what other people tell them, and they're just the loudspeaker for whatever the big people are behind them. They're just a small person, in my opinion. So, yes, I do think he has dementia, and yes, he is an actor just as well as all the other presidents. They are all just actors, just portraying what other people are saying, basically. Obama, I mean, yeah, he is black, but at the same time, he's also just a puppet as well. Sorry to speak on someone else other than Ronald Reagan. Sorry.
Why is he always revered as one of the best presidents in the world when he clearly,
Wow.
I don't want to say he, just helped out his own kind, but clearly he definitely had a more positive,
Influence over the Caucasian and the upper class. Well, I would like to say that he had nothing to do with the lower class people, whether they were black or white. He couldn't comprehend on their level because he's never been on their level. I'm sorry, what was the question directly again?
Why is he always revered as one of the best presidents?
Oh, he's revered as one of the best presidents because, in my opinion, he brought crack to the city. I am from Washington, D.C., and I currently still live there at this very moment. And, oh, yes, I see it every day. D.C. is starting to clean up, but it's still very poor. And where did you think it started at? They planted it right in the black community. And, yes, Ronald Reagan and his whole political party, they did create crack, and they planted it in our black communities. And now we have Hispanic people that are, a lot more Hispanic people in this country, and they don't have as much money as well. And they're just falling right into the system and right into the trap that Ronald Reagan, amongst other people, have came up with for us.
Now, Reagan in office basically ignored AIDS. Why do you think he did that?
They ignored, I'm going to say they, but referring to Ronald Reagan because he was the president, which was the loudspeaker for they. They ignored AIDS because they didn't care, because they figured that would knock off some of the poor people. Not only do the poor people don't have the medicine, they don't go to the doctor as much because once you're poor, it's very easy for you to fall into the drug and the alcohol. It's very easy for you to fall into that. And once you fall into that, your health is little to none, and there it is. And also, once again, the minorities. In my opinion, when you're poor and you don't have as much to do, you're going to be more into doing sexual activities and, drugs and things like that. So when you're doing drugs, heroin, that was really popular as well. When you're doing that, you shoot it directly into your vein, so it goes straight to your blood. So that is a big way that's a big way for you to transfuse blood. And that was one of the big ways that they honestly killed off a lot of the African Americans.
Now we know that blacks had AIDS the most, and we still know to this very day that the AIDS count in Africa is very high. Do you think Reagan purposely ignored AIDS because black people had it the most?
I do. My grandmother. My grandmother is a descendant of East Africa, Ethiopia and Somalia. So I do feel as though that is a big thing, and that does have something to do with why they ignore it, and they still continue to ignore it. Yes, we do have